Greetings, viewers. Eric the Car Guy here with this guy, Cameraman Brian. And go ahead, Brian, do it.
If it's your birthday, happy birthday.
You got a happy birthday from Brian. So you can't yell at me for saying it this time.
You can yell at me.
Yell at him. Brian, it's been like a minute since we've been working together, and we've been shooting together for the past 2 weeks on the truck project. And I just thought, well, I might just touch on that a little bit for the viewers so that they, could see that there's progress happening with this, because there seemed to be a lot of interest and excitement about the truck project. But also just to maybe touch on a little bit what it's like to, we had that long hiatus where you had other work, and then you went climbing mountains in Nepal for a bit. You were doing stuff, and then I was doing stuff, and now we're back working on this truck project. So we've been working together now for like what, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, on and off. I think we looked at the date once. It was an old invoice, I think it was. I went and looked back. It's been 4 years, I believe. At least 4 years, because we did SEMA 2014. And it was shortly before that. So right.
It's got to be 5. So it's 2019 now. Yeah, we're 5 years now.
Jeez.
Time just keeps ticking. But after coming back from all that time, I mean, what's it like for you to come back and do this? Because you do a lot of different stuff. You cover sports, you get all this stuff.
Yeah.
Some arty things. You've got arty things you do. Monster trucks.
Did monster trucks last weekend. That was nuts. I didn't know they ran nitromethane.
Oh yeah.
That's serious.
Do you have any idea how much a tire weighs on a monster truck?
I know they're 66 inches tall.
They are 66 inches tall, but they probably weigh as much, if not more, than your Toyota out there.
Yeah.
And there's 4 of them. So you got to move it along.
That's just the tires. Yeah. It's actually pretty impressive as far as, horsepower and just the structure. And anyway, a variety of things. I do a variety of things. And during, certain times of the year, it just varies and things happen. And same thing for you. It's like, literally, if there's no need, if you can do your Les Stroud, shoot your own thing, it's like, why not? But when you got to move, and when you don't have, I don't know, what does necessitate me being here, honestly?
Well, you being here frees me up to focus on what I'm doing. Right. Because when you're here, I don't have to worry if the camera, if I remember to press record, number 1. And 2, if the audio drops out, like the batteries in my wireless might go out or something like that.
Right, that's my job.
Or, just some other technical issue during the course of production, how the shot is framed. So that in and of itself frees my mind up to focus on what I'm doing, because, the Les Stroud stuff that you're talking about, I'm sitting there doing this and I'm going, oh crap, did I do that right? Or is the thing I hate the most is getting back to editing and I pull up the clip and the audio's not there or something like that. It's like one of those worst nightmare scenarios, especially when I think, I've made this great video, but then technically it's gone. So whenever I'm in a big project like Dad's truck here, I want to make sure that footage is there, number 1. But also, the camera movement, I mean, it adds a certain dynamic. The way I see you is you're the viewer, you're the first viewer of these videos. So you have an interest in something, you go into it, and sometimes you ask questions during the course of it, and instead of me just by myself monologuing, you are there to just say, hey, what about this? Or what about this? Or hey, what's that? And I think to myself, well, that's a question viewers might ask. Right. And that allows me to incorporate that into the video. So the stuff that I really care about, and it's not that I don't care about all my videos, but the stuff that I'm really invested in, like this truck build, I want to make sure that it gets captured in such a way to where it's engaging for the viewers. And I think the best way to ensure that is to have you manning the camera.
And from a practical standpoint, do you get more done?
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely. Because if I'm having to set up a camera for every shot, if I'm having to check the frame, and if I'm having to, hope that I caught that, whereas you're there in the moment, something falls to the time. Most of the time. Something falls to the floor, and the camera moves to the floor to follow the thing that just fell, rather than me saying, oh, hang on a minute, check this out. Not that I can't work with that, and I have for years, but the point is, it's more dynamic, it flows a lot better.
The flow,
I'm able to focus on what I'm doing more. It's a different video when you're there.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not one is better than the other, it's just different. And then you can be more productive under the vehicle. So that's sort of like when I hopped into this project, the pickup, it's sort of like, okay, we're in sort of Fairmont mode, you know, where it's like I got a lot to do, and not necessarily in a short time with the Fairmont, but you got a little time crunch here. It's like I can't be messing around with this stuff, camera stuff. I need to go. I need to cruise through this stuff, and so that, all that being said, I sort of knew the mindset of what you were trying to accomplish and my role and our compatibility. There's never been an issue. There's always a couple of contentious whatever, but it's never like.
Not really.
Well, it's like things will get frustrating. You're not frustrated with me.
Not you.
You're just like, you know.
Yeah.
I
try not to take it out on you, though. At least I hope I don't.
Well, I know you try, but sometimes it happens.
All right, fine. Airing our dirty laundry here today. But, okay.
But it's to be expected. It's like, why not?
Yeah. All right, so the truck build. Like, we're working back to front. We've done quite a bit. We've lowered the rear suspension. We just worked on the differential today. Wheels and tires that we did recently, and we're working our way back to front. Mm-hmm. So, and we haven't done a whole lot up to this point, but up to this point, as far as this build, you being the first viewer, what's been your favorite part so far?
Good question. I just think the truck, it's a classic truck. You know, it doesn't have the, you know, it's not an extended cab. It's just a cab and a bed. It's a truck, and it's got that classic Chevy. I always liked it. Even the, you know, old Chevys. I like the style.
You like square bodies.
Yeah,
he likes square bodies. We've been to SEMA, and every truck that he's attracted to is a square body. Usually C10, something like that.
Yeah, and this has that feel to it. I think, honestly, you know, everything. You go for the low-hanging fruit. It's like the immediate gratification type stuff. It looks great. The paint, just having paint underneath. And, the magic that can accomplish.
Oh yeah, getting rid of rusty-looking things and just covering it with black paint.
That's
it's amazing what a difference.
Thing. Tires and wheels. That was an immediate gratification thing.
That was cool.
Ooh, that looks cool.
That did look cool.
I just think the lowering of the rear end it was
that got my juices flowing.
It wasn't, you know, like, oh my gosh, the most amazing. It was just,
it was like, ooh,
okay,
hello,
this just changed.
Hello.
And it's not sitting on the ground. It's not this, you know, super, you know, ground clearance like this. It's still
in
a
the
truck.
weeds.
It's still
in the
right.
weeds. We call
that.
that.
It's called. It's still a truck. It can still clear a curb if you feel like running over it
easily.
But yet it's now just sits a little more stout than it was already stout, and now it's more stout, and it's just like,
yeah, it was up and trucky before.
Yeah.
But at least with the back, and it sort of gives an indication of what's going to happen in the front. That it's just gonna squat. It's going to have an attitude.
Yeah, it's like like if you're in ready mode, you know, to square off with somebody.
Yes.
You know, you're not going to be standing up.
It does.
You're just going to be, you know, you're going to get your center of gravity down a little bit. You're not going to lay on the ground, but that's what this truck is kind of saying to me. And that I think was, it didn't lower as much actually as you thought it would, but
we don't want to give away too much.
Oh, sorry. But regardless, it's just like, I really like the way it sits.
The stance.
And now, we haven't done the front, but you just know it's
it's going to be like a like you said. I like that ready for combat kind of analogy.
That truck's going to be ready for it in many ways.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is a little insight into the shoot that Brian and I have been doing with Dad's Truck Build. Like I said, I know you guys have a lot of interest in it. Hey, if you have automotive questions, air@thecarguy.com. That'll be linked down in the description. I'll link other videos with me and Brian if you really care to listen to us talk, whatever. It makes for good material.
We like to think anyway.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things that help make a living. Really appreciate that. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. We will see you next time. Well, I'll see you next time. This guy, I don't know.